let's stay in that division with the Atlanta Falcons. Team drafting at number 8.
I wonder why
Marcus
Carolina
Mariota
would be selling the quarterback thing at 6 with Atlanta 2 picks behind them, huh?
Marcus Mariota is their quarterback for now. Terry Fontenot, GM of the team, on whether he'll be disappointed if the Falcons don't emerge from the draft with a quarterback. Here he is from yesterday.
No, we could draft a quarterback in any of the rounds, or there's multiple ways to acquire a quarterback. We want to add to our room, and we will. But so it could be in the draft, it could be after the draft, it could be via trade. We're not going to limit ourselves to any possibility. We're going to turn over every stone. So whether it's in the draft or not, we'll add to that room.
I will agree with him on one thing. There are multiple ways to find a quarterback, including just sitting around waiting for some other team to alienate a 14-year starter who had no reason to leave, who just because you flirted with some other guy now wants out, and he falls into your lap for a third-round pick. That's a way to find a quarterback. The only problem is the Falcons were on the wrong end of the Matt Ryan transaction, and the Colts were the ones that had this guy drop out of the sky when they're sitting around saying, what the hell are we going to do for a quarterback? That's kind of where the Falcons are right now. Marcus Mariota is not the answer, short-term or long-term. I mean, it is amazing to me that Arthur Smith, whose career took off when he benched Marcus Mariota, now has Marcus Mariota as his number 1 quarterback on the depth chart. That won't last. The question is, where do they get a quarterback? And this is another one where the owner is going to make sure that the people who work for him know what he wants. And it's easier for him to do that because he's got Rich McKay to be the buffer. All Arthur Blank has to do is let Rich McKay know, and then Rich McKay lets Terry Fontenot know, and message communicated very cleanly with enough of a gap between Blank and the GM that Blank can say, hey, my football people are making their decisions. I'm not involved in any of that.
Yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, that is the great thing about having McKay there. Atlanta's they're in a pretty spot for the quarterback conversation for sure. Now, again, I like you heard me say, I don't buy quarterback at 8. I don't buy it. I really don't. You know, for a team like them that's got so many needs, I just wouldn't think they're looking at it at 8. Maybe they're a team that wants to trade down. I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe they want to do it then. Okay. You know, they also are sitting pretty with the fact of where they are in the second round, that they are a team that if someone's left over from round 1, I would expect them to make a move early in day 2 and round 2 to get up at the top of the second round to get a quarterback. I wouldn't be shocked to see that, or even get up at the end of first round if there's really a guy there they like. But I come to the same thing with Atlanta. I hear the rumors of Malik Willis, and I understand that. But for a team that's got so many holes to fill on their football team right now, I just don't see the quarterback thing happening for them at 8. I think they got to get something like very tangible that's going to help their team to build on right now, right this second. And a guy like Malik Willis is, to me, it's you know, it's a year or 2 years down the road before he's going to be really ready to go that way. And so I think they're another team that's going to kind of talk about this, hoping somebody comes up. But I think when all's said and done, they will not go quarterback at number 8.
Here's the thing to remember.
Yeah.
More than anything else, it's a business aimed at getting people to show up and shell out.
Yeah.
And when you see pictures of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, not to be confused with what once was the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, but the name is now on the place in Atlanta, and there are plenty of empty seats. People aren't driving their Mercedes-Benz vehicles to that stadium. What puts people in the seats? A winning team, yes, but absent a winning team, you need star players. You need players that the fans want to come out and see. I think that's why they got into the Deshaun Watson conversation. And I know Blank tried to kind of clumsily suggest that they really weren't all that interested.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Sure, Jan. No, they did. They just didn't want to have any of the blowback that the Browns were getting for doing the deal. But you want someone who is going to get your fans excited enough to show up, to spend the money to be there to watch the games. That's what it's about. It doesn't matter if you contend or win championships or whatever. I mean, it's nice if you do that, but fundamentally, you want people to be there. So you need players that will draw people there. And I love Marcus Mariota. He's not going to draw people. to that venue. That's why I think Arthur Blank is going to be nudging, asking, pushing, questioning. Quarterback. We need a new face of the franchise.
Sure.
We had Matt Ryan from 2008 through 2021, and now he's gone. I still don't know how in the hell that happened. I say that as myself and as play acting Arthur Blank. I don't know how the hell that happened. He was here and now he's gone. What happened? And we need somebody else to be the face of the franchise. And I remember hearing back in 2008 that Blank was pushing quarterback with number 3, that there were some people in the organization that wanted Glenn Dorsey. Now I've had pushback on that as well, but I've been hearing it for so long. It's one of those things where you hear for so long, you start to believe it. That they were looking Glenn Dorsey, the defensive tackle, very seriously at number 3, and it was Blank that pushed them toward Ryan.
Right.
Because people didn't know what Ryan was going to be. If Ryan was going to be great, Bill Parcells would have taken him at number 1 that year instead of Jake Long. Period. Would have solved the Dan Marino problem in Miami in one fell swoop if they had done that. So it's not like we knew Matt Ryan was going to be a great quarterback. But I think that Arthur Blank can retreat to that experience. We didn't know. He could say to Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, if it comes down to it, or to Rich McKay. They were telling me back then, we don't really know that Matt Ryan's going to be great. Well, you're telling me you don't know Malik Willis is going to be. Well, there's only one way to find out. If it doesn't work out, we'll be drafting a quarterback again in a couple of years, but I need somebody to put asses in the seats. And a quarterback is going to be more likely to do it than anybody else.
I hear you there. I hear you. There's a big difference, though, between Malik Willis and Matt Ryan coming out in the draft. Matt Ryan was like the Kenny Pickett guy where you're like, he's ready right now, except he's got even way more talent than Kenny Pickett. So there was something this one's a little bit more of a risk. And I don't disagree with your points there. I don't. But all I'm saying is you got to be smart. You don't want to overreach. You got to be tactical about this here. And they're a team to me that I'm still sit here and look at Atlanta and go, how the hell did they win as many games as they did last year with that football team? It really is kind of amazing. As I've gone through the draft process and you look at their team and what they need, I mean, you go through every position and you go, they need. It's amazing what they did. So that's where I hear everything you're saying. I'm scared to death to a degree of what I'm saying because I know, like I said yesterday, there's been quarterbacks less talented than Malik Willis to get drafted in front of him for sure. But it's just like Carolina. I don't know. I don't buy it. I think it's a smokescreen. I think they'd love to trade down and create that. And, I do think that, some of these guys might be at least one of these guys could be very much available at the end of the first round or at least available early in the second round on day 2.
Yeah, the Falcons in 2021, when they won barely. When they lost, they got the SH-T kicked out of them. It wasn't even close.
Yeah,
it's amazing. When you look at their point differential for the year, it's huge difference because of all the games they lost convincingly.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.